Storm had offered the Parramatta Eels a $200,000 transfer fee. And the Eels rightfully said, no way. And then Peter V'landys came out and was like, if you don't accept something that's reasonable, then I'll step in and accept it on your behalf or something, which like is just nuts because Peter V'landys is the guy that banned these players for 10 years if they go to R360, and then he's flipped on it. But then Zac Lomax broke a contract to leave the Eels, and now he's trying to break another contract, like another agreement that was literally like he agreed that he couldn't sign with another club if he came back. It's just like the arrogance of Zac Lomax to think he's entitled to do this. And then in what world is $200,000 reasonable for Zac Lomax? This is a New South Wales origin player. This is an international player. I feel like Storm sending them Jack Howarth is almost unreasonable in that they should be sending more. Like, this is a rep player. He's not worth nearly $200,000. In 2023, the Bulldogs paid $500,000 for Carl Oluwapu, who hadn't even debuted in the NRL. If we're going off that, it should be like a $1.5 million transfer fee. I think it is laughable. And if Peter V'landys comes out and makes Parramatta Eels accept these offers, then I'm done. Like, dead set. Like, how on earth can Peter V'landys, the same guy that said you're banned for 10 years if you go to R360, how can he then be like, no, Eels, you have to accept $200,000? They don't have to accept $200,000. Zac Lomax signed a contract. Peter V'landys is basically saying contracts don't matter. And like, if anyone should be trying to validate a contract, hello, it's Peter V'landys. Like, you're the boss. You're the big man. What you say goes. It's just like mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. Like, as Let's Trot just said, let the guy sit out. He signed an agreement that he agreed to. He signed it saying if for whatever reason he wants to come back to the NRL, he can only come back to the Eels until the 4-year deal that he had signed runs out. It's like, hey, don't leave. Like, you are being punished for breaking a contract, as you should be. You shouldn't have broken the contract in the first place. Like, what about the fact that Zac Lomax left the Parramatta Eels so prematurely? R360 hadn't even made him an offer. Like, go play rugby union, bro. Go join Angus Crichton and play rugby union. That's what you wanted. Nicky89 goes, he's saying they only matter when it suits him. And it's just, V'landys came out and said that players who left R360 were duped. He has sympathy for them. And sure, like Villablade, to a degree, yes, they were duped. To a degree, like, sure. But once again, like, he literally said anyone that goes is banned for 10 years. Like, he's flipped it up. You can't tell me Peter V'landys hasn't flipped the script. He's flipped the script, and it's just the inconsistency. It's like, fair enough if it's like, say it's the Melbourne Storm CEO or like a coach or if it's, say it's Zac Lomax's management that are like saying, oh, but, you know, it got cancelled or whatever. This is Peter V'landys. Like, it's Peter V'landys basically saying, Peter V'landys don't think contracts matter. Like, he signed it. If Zac Lomax is, let's play devil's advocate for a second. Say Melbourne Storm offer the Eels $500,000 in a transfer fee. Parramatta Eels say, no, we want a player or nothing. And then Peter V'landys steps in and says, no, $500,000 is reasonable. I'm the boss. You do what I say. If he validates that and Zac Lomax is then allowed to break the agreement he signed after breaking Parramatta's contract, after the year before breaking the Dragons contract, if Peter V'landys allows that to happen, then he is saying contracts do not matter, and then any contract going forward is just literally grain of salt. And right now in the NRL, contracts are basically grain of salt. It's already bad enough, but if Peter V'landys is validating this, then it's just like players may as well not sign contracts. It literally may as well just be season on season, 6 months on 6 months. As soon as you don't want to be at a club, just leave. It's like Matt Byrne at the Bulldogs. If he gets shifted to centre because of Mitch Woods, it's like he may as well just go to Perth. If Zac Lomax is allowed back in the NRL, it sets such a bad precedent for just any player to break any contract, especially if it's NRL club to NRL club. This is Zac Lomax, who tried to go to R360 and was meant to have a 10-year ban. It is just like the biggest mess. And Zac Lomax is a great player. Obviously, the rugby league is a better product with him in it, 100%. But at some point, you got to be punished for your arrogance. Seriously, it's ridiculous. The thought of Lomax on one side and Coates on the other would terrify me. Yeah, it's it does, bro. It does. Lomax to sign with the Knicks to turn their season around. Should the Warriors have let Walsh go for compassionate reasons? But like Villablade, you can't compare what's happening now to like Reece Walsh being let go for compassionate reasons. Reece Walsh had legitimate passionate reasons, and I don't doubt that there was like evidence pulled together of like, hey, Reece Walsh literally has a kid and an ex-girlfriend in Brisbane and he's only leaving to go be with them. Like, it's in another country. Zac Lomax is coming back because his ego got hit. He shouldn't have left Eels so early. He shouldn't have left so early. If Zac Lomax had signed an actual contract with R360 and then it folded, I'd then lean with him a little bit more than I do now. I still wouldn't be on his side, but I'd sympathise with him a little bit. He left without even having a contract. He did this to himself, and he willingly signed the agreement. Like, once again, if he hadn't signed that agreement with Parramatta of not being allowed back in, then I'd be on his side. But it's the fact he agreed to not coming back. He agreed to not coming back. You can't agree to not coming back and then come back. Like, he should have not agreed to that. It's as simple as that. He shouldn't have agreed to that. He did it to himself, and he should be rightfully punished for doing it to himself. Parra will be lucky to get 100,000 compensation. Well, it seems like they'll get at least 200,000, but he should have to work it out with Eels. Saying not welcome back is over the top. But then, like, and anyone that's like, oh, well, Eels should just have to take him back. They shouldn't have to. This dude walked out of the club 1 year into a 4-year contract. Obviously, they're not going to want him back. Like, at the end of the day, just don't break contracts. It's as simple as that. Am I saying Pappy shouldn't be allowed back? But see, the Pappy situation's different because Ryan Papenhuyzen didn't sign an agreement with the Storm of not being allowed back. That's the difference. And even still, if the NRL stepped in and said, Pappy, you're not allowed back till the end of whatever contract you're on at the Storm, I'd be okay with that. But the difference is Ryan Papenhuyzen did not sign an agreement with the Storm that said he's not allowed back. Zac Lomax did. That's the big difference, and that's why I think he shouldn't be allowed back in. Walsh knew before he left Brisbane about his circumstances. That's the only reason why I mentioned it. Yeah, it's not a good argument, but I just think it's a different situation. If Reece Walsh had signed with the Warriors that said under no circumstances will we be granted a compassionate release, then it's different. And maybe the contract said it, and if it did, then fair enough. But I highly doubt it did. I think it's a different situation. Well, here's another thing. Sam Walker got offered a contract. Lomax did not get a contract. They didn't want him. That's what's mind-blowing. If Crichton did the same thing, would you welcome him back at the Bulldogs? Villablade, I can say with all my heart, I actually promise you right now, if any Bulldogs player did what Zac Lomax did, Stephen Crichton, Matt Burton, Jacob Carraz, Jacob Preston, like anyone, no matter how highly paid, no matter how lowly paid, no matter how high profile, no matter how much I like him, like Matt Burton, Critter, two favorite players, if it was them, if they walked out on the club, I wouldn't want them back in the NRL. I'd be more passionate about them not being allowed back. But like, I wouldn't want them at my own club. I want people at my club that want to be at my club. And if you sign an agreement saying, yes, I'm happy to not come back into the NRL for the next 3 years, you've signed that agreement. If he gets allowed back without the Eels giving the permission, it just means that contracts mean nothing. It's such a mess. It is genuine. Like, I can't think of any contract saga in the NRL that has been as messy as this. Like, you can look at like Ben Hunt at the Dragons and how much he wanted to leave, but he was never granted a release and then like went to another sport and then wanted to go. It's like the thing that makes it messy is the second agreement. The fact that Zac Lomax signed saying, I agree to not being allowed back. That's what makes it messy. Imagine the booing on the field if he does. Nicky89, the only thing that makes me want Zac Lomax to be allowed to play for the Storm is just the absolute cinema that would come from all the booing he'd get. Round one as well. Like, that just adds to all the drama. The fact they play, it's Eels Storm round one. That's what makes it so good. So, like, part of me wants him to come back just so I can see him get relentlessly booed. And I reckon it wouldn't just be Eels fans booing. I reckon every game he'd get booed. It'd be like the Ezra Mann booing thing, but obviously for different reasons. You do realise Parra let him go. Villablade, you're not... yes, Parramatta let him go, but they made him sign an agreement that he wasn't allowed back into the NRL. That's why Parramatta were willing to let him go, because he agreed to not go to another club for 3 years. If he hadn't agreed to that, they wouldn't have let him go. And that's why, like, I hate Parramatta. I'm a Bulldogs fan. Out of every rugby league team, I hate Parramatta more than any team. And even I'm on Parramatta's side. Like, out of everyone on the planet, I'm the one that shouldn't be on their side. And even I'm on their side. It's such a mess. He can't be allowed to play. That's the bottom line. He can't be allowed to play.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.